On any kind of adventure, which one of these pedals is more important, the gas pedal or the brake pedal? Before you answer the question of which one's more important, it's actually pretty complicated. If you step on the gas more than you do the brake, then you go further. But if you step on the brake more than you do the gas, you don't go as far, but you see more. It's up to you as to which one's most important. And I guess it's also up to the trip that you're on and the time frame that you have allowed.
Yesterday, I wasn't feeling very well, so we stepped on the gas a lot more than we stepped on the brake.
Life is kind of like a pendulum, isn't it? We do one thing one day and the next day we do too much of another. Today we may step on the brake more than we need to, but we're certainly prioritizing stepping on the brake a lot more and stopping a lot more on this part of the journey.
Speaking of overcompensating, we stopped at this overlook hoping we would see Mount Airy, the home of Andy Griffith. But this is what we're seeing instead. We're in the clouds.
Made it to Mabry Mill. We're gonna go check that out. I was sitting there thinking about this. This is our little bandana. We're wearing it everywhere we go. And you guys ask us if we feel safe. And the answer is yes. We stay away from people like there might be a plague going on. The only thing we've had to do differently is we've had to stop and get gas. I was thinking about my bandana though. Made me think about bandana, bandana, where you been so long? Bandana, bandana, where you been so long? I ain't had no loving since we've been gone.
So this mill is awesome. Mabry Mill was actually built in 1910.
It was built by the Mabrys, who operated it until 1936. So if you visit here, you may wonder why there's so many flumes. Usually there's like one stream that will power a mill like this, but the Mabrys had a really big challenge. There were a lot of mountain streams here, but the water would run in one for a little bit and then it would shut down. It'd run in another one and then it would dry up, and it was seasonal. So to overcome that, he built a complete maze of flumes that would send water to the main flume that would power the mill. It was really, really smart. If he had the internet, just think of what he could have done. We think of a mill like this because of a grist mill that would take corn and turn it into meal that they could use for food. But this actually served three purposes for the Mabrys. The first one was, yes, it turned everything into food. They would drop corn in and it would make cornmeal and they would eat that. The other thing is when the water was really running, he ran a sawmill here so that he could cut lumber. And then the third, he had a woodworking shop. And he used the power of the water to power the tools inside of his woodworking shop. That's really cool.
That is really cool.
Smart man. Like I said, if he had the internet, there's no telling what he could have done. While we're here, we met a really nice young ranger, Chris, who is actually one of the interpreters here. Very knowledgeable and very nice. Showed us in the house even though everything's closed. And here, I'll show you a little blurb of him telling us about that.
What he did later was he built a 1.5 story, which was popular at the time,
right.
4-room sawed plank house.
And normally you can walk through the house and have a little walkway, but they're not. It's not open right now due to COVID.
COVID changes everything.
It does. Just like Owen said, we're trying to be really careful with the COVID thing going on. And actually the store here at the Mabry Mill is open and I would love to go in there, but since we're trying to be careful, we're going to skip it.
It was a great stop, wasn't it?
It was. I think Mabry Mill might be my favorite stop so far on the Parkway.
Mine too.
So much history and it's just beautiful, the mill awesome. The history of the couple that actually lived there and built the mill. Very interesting.
It is. That's behind us. We had a really good time. We're going to go find something else. Put a few miles on the parkway in. We'll check back in with you when we find the next spot.
Owen said, "Yay, a dirt road." But we're getting ready to go on a hike, and we're going to park at the entrance to the trail.
Is it crazy that I'm excited that we get to ride on a dirt road? We just love being on dirt gravel roads and off the beaten path. That's where most of the fun happens. At the end of that dirt road, we stepped on the brakes again. The payoff, a 3-mile hike with lots of views. What could be better?
So we had a choice of which trail to take, the one that goes to the music center or the 2.7 Fisher Loop Trail. We have chosen the Fisher Trail because we have special Fishers in our family. We have 5 of them.
It was 4.1 miles, and it had 4 payoffs that we're going to tell you about.
The first payoff that I absolutely love were all the different mushrooms. All different kinds of mushrooms. It was awesome.
The second one is it has second growth forest with uphills and downhills and mountainsides, and you're walking between lots of ferns. And if you were here in the spring or early summer, the rhododendrons and the mountain laurel would be beautiful.
And the third payoff was when we walked out into the meadow, and on one side was freshly mowed hay, and on the other side was the field of wildflowers. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Lynn actually crawled up into the wildflowers so we could get a picture of her because she was so happy about that.
Could have done my happy dance in those wildflowers.
Maggie is torn as to what the fourth one should be. The fourth one for her probably would be that Daddy needs to crank the van and turn the air conditioner on. But it really was all the mountain streams that we were able to walk across. Every quarter mile or so there's a mountain stream. Every time she got down in the water and she got something to drink and she got herself cooled off. If you're near this trailhead, this is an awesome, awesome hike, and we recommend that you come and do it. We're going to move on.
Yep.
Keep going that way. I'm kind of out for a Sunday stroll, but it's a Thursday. I pulled off to find some LTE data and upload today's video, and the little road I turned off on was just a little rut. So I'm walking down here to see if I can figure out how to turn around. Now I'm curious as to where this road goes. It'd be awesome if you could find a place like this to come and boondock, get away from everything. I don't know why I'm whispering. If you hear the shot, that means I should have been whispering softer. Pretty cool place. I mean, pretty awesome driveway. Right off of the parkway, over a little mountain stream. I could come down here and turn around, but I think I'm going to try to back up. So there's the van. I bet you anything, the person that lives here is the nicest person. But what comes to mind though is the bumper sticker. Paddle faster, I hear banjo music.
scrape going down, but he got out without scraping. Good job, sweetheart.
Never one time heard banjo music either.
I know. Well, we were planning to stay at the Dalton Park campground, and it looks like it's closed, so it is starting to rain.
We'll find a place.
We will, even if it's the side of the road.
We had to pull off at an overlook because it's raining sideways. In fact, just then you just saw we were getting pretty good sized hail here.
Tonight, we ended up at Price Lake.
Not where we expected tonight. We planned to be here tomorrow night, but we had to step on the gas a little more than we planned today because of weather and because Dalton Park's campground is closed. So we put another 60 miles in. You guys saw the hail and the rainstorms we went through, and man, it was a heck of a storm, wasn't it?
It was. But a lot of that area of the parkway is the part that we're real familiar with. Right. So if we were going to miss part of the parkway, that was probably the best one. And you've probably seen them a lot too in our previous videos.
So this is our reward. We get to watch a sunset over Julian Price Lake. And I think that's going to be it for the day. This is what we're going to wrap up today. We're glad you guys rolled along with us. So with that, we'll say good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning as we continue heading south on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Thanks for being part of our journey.